Okay, so now we're looking at the game board. Once I talk you through the game board, then I'll show you some of the most important documents on the game, and then we'll leave you with one real example. So the entire purpose of the game, aside from being able to increase your financial intelligence and help you to learn and retain more, the objective of the game is to escape the rat race. And where is the rat race? That's actually the center of the board. And in order to escape the rat race, the question you're probably asking yourself is, well, how do I escape the rat race? And you'll be able to do that once your passive income is equal to or greater than your expenses. When your passive income is equal to or greater than your expenses. So you would then leave the rat race and you would move into the part of the board, which is the outer portion, which is known as the fast track. And then once you exceed your monthly income by $50,000, yes, I did say your monthly income by $50,000 in the fast track, then in essence, you would win the game. So let's dive into, first of all, the rat race. Now, once again, the objective of the game is to escape the rat race. Now, the rat race is going around and around, and this is usually in the beginning when you start playing. This is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. I like to say that most of us, it reflects life, because many people will spend 30, 40, if not more years of their life kind of going around and around in a circle, and that reflects in the game. So let's take a look first and foremost on the green spaces. Now, the green spaces, you have the different types of deals. You either have a small deal, which will cost you between 0 and 6,000, or you have a big deal, which will cost you between 4,000 and 200,000. So either of those two, and we'll give you an example later. Then you have the market cards, which are the blue spaces, and the market cards, well, we'll show you an example later, but a lot of interesting things can happen with the market card. And then you have, which are most people's favorite, and I say that a little bit ironically, is the doodad card, and these are in red. And so the doodad card, you have to do what they say no matter what. So the others, you have somewhat of a choice whether or not you want to do them. Although sometimes with the market cards, you don't really have a choice, but we'll go into that a little bit later. And then I want to highlight some of the other things. So you have also a purple space, which is a baby. If you are fortunate enough to land there, you are, congratulations. You can add your child expense as well, and you have a limit of 3 children per game. So lots of fun and also can be costly. Then you have another purple space, which is downsized. And if you land here, you will pay the amount of your total expenses to the bank and you'll lose 2 turns. So you'll watch everybody else learn while you're kind of watching from the sidelines. And then next you have another purple, which is charity. And if you land on charity, you can donate 10% of your total income and use 1 or 2 dice for your next 3 turns. So that's really up to you, whether or not you want to do that. And then I think lastly, you want to recognize that there's some orange spaces here, which are known as your payday. So if you land on or go past payday, then you will actually pick up your cash, or however much you are earning at that point in time. Then you have the die, and then you have the proverbial rats. So, and there are a couple different color rats that you get to pick, and you can go from there. And then also you have these cards, which are your profession cards. So you have a teacher, K through 12, and you can see there what the teacher's making, salary $3,300, and then has a bunch of expenses and things like that. But then just to give you another example, you have a lawyer here, and you also have a janitor. So, and everybody pretty much follows the same thing. And so because we're looking at this, I want to take you to, I mentioned that I wanted to show you some of the documents that are really important in the game. And very similar to real life is, if you're looking at this for the first time, don't worry, you are probably not alone, but these are really important statements. The first one is an income statement. And the income statement is kind of like your, if you think about what your monthly bank statement looks like, it shows all the different money that's coming in your account. You can have income that comes in from your salary, so you're trading your time for money. If you have interest and dividends that are paying you on a monthly basis, and then real estate and businesses. So, but the idea is you have a picture of what is actually coming in every month, And then you look at the bottom of the income statement, also known as the P&L or the profit and loss, and that shows you what are the different expenses that are going out. Taxes, home mortgage payment, school loan payment, car payment, credit card payment, other expenses, bank loans is something we talk about, and then that's that per child expense that we talked about before that we saw here if you have a baby. So that's the income statement. And then you have your balance sheet. Now the balance sheet has to balance. So you have two sides. You have the assets and then you have liabilities as well as owner's equity. But because this is simplified in the game, it's really just showing us the assets. So think about these are from the most liquid to least liquid, meaning, and when I say liquid, that means that you can get money really easily. So think about your savings account. That's just money that's sitting there. You've got some precious metals, stocks, funds, CDs, and then you have real estate. So these assets should be putting money in your pocket every, whatever the time period is. And then your liabilities are things that you're either using to purchase assets or they're things that are taking money out of your pocket every single month. Things like a home mortgage, school loans, car loans, credit card debt, bank loans, and then you may have a different type of liability here that you're using from a mortgage and you're using that to purchase assets. And remember when I told you that the whole objective of the game is to make sure that you get out of the rat race. And how do you do that? You do that by making sure that your passive income is greater than or equal to your total expenses. And that it's highlighted here on the new version of the game. So the idea is that you have your salary that comes in every month, then you work on creating passive income, which will give you total income minus your expenses, and that will give you your monthly cash flow. So depending on the decisions that you make throughout the game, you will see this monthly cash flow either stay the same, go up, or go down. But once again, the idea is to get out of the rat race. You want to make sure that your passive income is greater than or equal to your expenses. And then the last document that I want to show you is your cash ledger. So basically all of the movements that you have in the game. So anytime you buy or sell something, you're going to see that reflected here. And this is pretty much like your bank statement every month. It just shows actually how much cash do you have and that you can be able to use that cash. So once again, these are the documents. These are the core documents. So you have your income statement and your balance sheet, and then you have your cash ledger to see where you're going. And depending on the decisions that you make during the game, you should see lots of movement. So one of the other things I would say is always play Cashflow 101 with a pencil, with a nice eraser, because you should have lots of movement, different activities. So I showed you earlier one of the profession cards. So now I've taken another one just to give you an idea. So if you're a police officer, for instance, you'll see the income is $3,000. Then you have a number of different expenses, taxes, mortgage payment, school loan payment, car loan payment, credit card, other expenses, bank loan. And if you have a child, it's going to cost you $200 per child as a police officer. So just to give you an idea, and once again, this reflects very much the same as the card. So when you get started, if you were a police officer, you would fill out the salary, $3,000, and then all of the different expenses you would fill out here. And then you have your assets and your liabilities, and you would get started because you would start out the game with zero passive income. So that's just an example. Let's take a quick look at some of the cards, and then that will give you an idea. Let's take a look at one of the small deals. So let's pick one of these. So this small deal, and once again, this normally will cost between 0 and 6,000. We happen to pull a mutual fund here, Grow for Us fund. Powerhouse market drives funds price up to record high. Only you may buy as many shares as you want at this price. Everyone else may sell. So the symbol is Grow for Us. Today's price is $40, and the historic range is between 20 and 30. So it's up to you whether or not you would want to do that. Why, if it goes with your philosophy or not, but that's just one of the examples. Let's take a look at one of the big deals, which is another green card. The green card is, okay, we've got a house for sale. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in rough neighborhood, positive cash flow, even though rents are weak. Use this yourself or sell to another player. So if you wanted to do this, it's going to cost $300,000. You would take a mortgage that's $288,000. You would put $12,000 down, and that's going to provide you $800 a month in cash flow. So if we were looking at this, I think we had the police officer, if we wanted to make that purchase, would put $800 in cash flow. If we see right now, the expenses are $1,900. That could help or not, but you'd need to take a look overall. But that's just an example of a big deal. But either of these two, you can decide whether or not you want to do it. Let's see what this market card says. The market card says, price of gold soars, rioting overseas, oil prices threaten, price of gold skyrockets. Buyer offers $1,000 cash for each coin. Everyone must sell any number of coins at this price. Everyone may sell any number of coins at this price. So if you have gold, you could sell it at $1,000 for each coin that you would have. And that's up to you, once again. So whether or not you would want to sell it, that's your market card. And then let's take a look at the doodad before we kind of wrap up what this looks like on the board. And today's doodad is, one of my favorites, costume jewelry. And that's going to cost $400. So if you were to have this, then it would be $400 and you would have yourself a nice new piece of costume jewelry. So once again, I just wanted to give you an overall look of the Cashflow 101 game board, give you an idea of what are some of the different cards that are there, and also once again, just to repeat that the whole purpose of the game is to help you increase your financial intelligence, do it in a way that helps you to understand the board game and also try to escape the rat race and get into the fast track. So, and you'll do this by, once again, depending on what decisions you make, it will help you get in or out of the rat race in a much faster way. So hopefully this has been helpful to give you an overview of the game and see some of the different items and some of the different cards that you can come into while you're in the rat race and working on getting out of the rat race. So I'll come back to you. We're just going to wrap up and get you on your way so that you can start playing Cashflow 101 ASAP. So now you've had a chance to learn much more about Cashflow 101. You've understood the philosophy behind the game. You've also seen a live demo, and now this is up to you to start to take action. So just as a quick recap, once again, the Cashflow 101 game is here to help you increase your financial intelligence, to be able to do it in an environment that is fun, that's educational, and in an environment where you're not going to get hurt, but you're going to learn a lot. Secondly, you've had a chance to see the game board and all of its pieces, so understanding that the objective of the game is for you to get out of the rat race, and you do that by being able to have your passive income be equal to or greater than your expenses. How quickly can you get out of the rat race? And you've also had a chance to see a lot of documents, some new documents. Hopefully you've had a chance to learn some things. For instance, the income statement that you look at over time, which helps you understand how much money is coming in and how much money is going out on a monthly basis, for instance. And you've also had a chance to see the balance sheet, which helps you to understand the assets, which are those things that are helping to put money in your pocket, and the liabilities, which are taking money out of your pocket. So hopefully this has been very helpful for you. You've understood more about the Cashflow 101 game, and now it's up to you to go out and now take action. So I'm going to recommend that you find in your area a place where you can meet up with other people to play Cashflow 101, being able to meet new people, network, and also learn together. Like I said before, I know that you can play the game online as well, so maybe you want to get started there, but definitely get to a place where you can meet and learn from other people. But one way or the other, go out, start increasing your financial intelligence, meet new people, and have a lot of fun. So